Welcome to Warriors Rulers Legacy Channel, where history comes alive. Join us as we delve into the epic tales of legendary warriors and rulers, uncovering their legacies and the impact they left on the world. Today, we will explore the life and legacy of one of Europe's most formidable and underfunded defenders, who, against overwhelming odds, showcased strategic brilliance and unwavering resolve in fiercely defending his homeland and delaying Ottoman expansion despite limited resources. Born in 1405, George Kastrioti, commonly known as Skanderbeg, was an Albanian feudal lord and military commander who led a successful rebellion against the Ottoman Empire in what is today Albania, North Macedonia, Greece, Kosovo, Montenegro, and Serbia. Skanderbeg ranks high in the military history of that time as the most persistent and ever-victorious opponent of the Ottoman Empire during its heyday, halting their efforts to spread Islam through a predominantly Roman Catholic Western Europe. During the 14th and 15th centuries, several Albanian principalities emerged under local noblemen. The Bulgarian and Byzantine empires, already weakened by internal strife, faced the Ottoman Empire in a series of wars from 1345 to 1396. The Serbian Empire expanded quickly as the Bulgarian and Byzantine empires were weakening. However, the Serbian Empire fell after its defeat at the Battle of Maritsa on September 26, 1371. After the fall of the short-lived Serbian Empire in 1355, Albanian principalities grew in prominence, taking advantage of the political vacuum to strengthen their own realms and assert greater autonomy. However, their autonomy was challenged by the Ottoman invasion. The Principate of Kastrioti was founded by Skanderbeg's father, Jon Kastrioti, who expanded his territory through political maneuvers. In a short time, Jon managed to expand its lands from originally 2 small villages so as to become the undisputed lord of central Albania. In 1422, after a failed rebellions, Jon was forced to send Skanderbeg and his 3 older brothers as hostages to the Ottoman court as part of the practice of Devshirme. Devshirme, also known as the child levy, was a notable practice implemented by the Ottoman Empire. Under this system, Christian boys from the Balkan regions were forcibly taken from their families, subjected to conversion to Islam, and rigorously trained to serve the state in various capacities. Forced to conform to the practices of Islam, Skanderbeg was subjected to merciless training at which he excelled, proving himself to be both a physically powerful warrior and eventually also a brilliant field commander. During this time, he gained the trust of the Ottoman Sultan Murad II and rose through the military ranks, becoming a skilled and respected commander. For his successful military campaigns, the Ottoman Sultan Murad II himself honored him by bestowing upon him the name of Iskander, Lord Alexander, comparing him favorably to the Macedonian conqueror Alexander the Great. In 1428, inspired by Venice, Jon led a rebellion to relieve pressure during the Siege of Thessalonica. The Siege of Thessalonica from 1422 to 1430 saw the city, a critical Byzantine stronghold, ultimately fall to Ottoman Sultan Murad II after prolonged resistance, marking a significant Ottoman victory. The Venetians, who had taken control of the city in 1423, were unable to defend it, leading to its brutal sacking. This loss redirected Sultan Murad II's focus to quelling Albanian insurrections, including those led by Jon. The Ottomans' renewed attention and military might eventually lead to his defeat and the consolidation of Ottoman power in Albania. Despite this, Skanderbeg continued to remain loyal to Sultan Murad II and didn't join his father's rebellion. To subdue the Albanian nobles, the Ottomans started implementing the Timar system. Under this system, the Ottomans granted land, Timars, to military officers and officials in exchange for their military service. This allowed the Ottomans to maintain control over the land and its produce, effectively reducing the power and influence of the local Albanian nobility and ensuring their dominance in the region. Between 1432 and 1436, Jon joined an uprising led by George Arianiti, which resulted in Jon's defeat, but saw victories in 4 battles for George Arianiti and 1 victory for Andrea Topia. In the late 1435, Pope Eugene IV actively sought additional military support and funds to bolster the efforts of the revolt. reaching out to various European leaders and noblemen to garner their assistance. Holy Roman Emperor Sigismund of Luxembourg sent Fruzin, a Bulgarian nobleman, and in early 1436, a pretender to the Ottoman throne, to negotiate the possibility of forming a coalition with the rebels. However, by mid-1436, a large Ottoman force led by Turhan Bey was assembled. Despite achieving some military victories, the rebels' lack of central leadership ultimately led to their defeat. Turhan's forces eventually subdued the revolt and marched through Albania, committing widespread massacres of civilians as they advanced. Despite the suppression of the main revolt, various rural areas remained in a state of rebellion, continuing to resist Ottoman control and refusing to submit to their authority. These pockets of resistance demonstrated the resilience and determination of the local population. The defeat took a toll on Gjon, and he eventually died a broken man in 1439 and was buried at the Albanian Tower on Mount Athos in modern-day Greece. After his father's death and witnessing the brutal suppression of regional uprisings, Skanderbeg decided to abandon the Ottomans and was waiting for the right moment. In the tumultuous year of 1443, the Battle of Niš raged on, a chaotic clash between the forces of the Hungarian commander John Hunyadi and the Ottoman Empire. Amidst the turmoil, Skanderbeg saw an opportunity. Seizing the moment, Skanderbeg with 300 Albanian horsemen slipped away under the cover of night, evading Ottoman patrols as they made their way through treacherous terrain towards Albania. Their journey was fraught with danger, but their determination never wavered. Upon reaching Albania, Skanderbeg set his sights on the fortress of Kruja, a key stronghold that had fallen under Ottoman control. He devised a cunning plan to reclaim it. Crafting a forged letter, purportedly from Sultan Murad II, he commanded the governor of Kruja to surrender the fortress to him. The governor, deceived by the authenticity of the letter, allowed Skanderbeg and his forces inside. In a swift and decisive strike, his men overpowered the Ottoman garrison, and the fortress of Kruja was reclaimed. The house of Kastrioti hoisted the double-headed eagle, today's Albanian flag, high above the battlements, heralding a new era of resistance. With Kruja secured, Skanderbeg launched a series of campaigns to capture surrounding castles and strongholds. His reputation as a brilliant strategist and fearless leader grew with each victory. The local population, inspired by his leadership, rallied to his cause, bolstering his forces and strengthening the resistance. In March of 1444, Skanderbeg convened the historic League of Lezhë. This coalition of Albanian nobles united under his leadership, pledging to resist Ottoman domination. The League of Lezhë symbolized the unification of the Albanian forces and the collective resolve to fight for their freedom. His leadership and strategic acumen were pivotal in uniting the Albanian nobles and coordinating their resistance against the Ottomans. In a symbolic act of defiance against the Ottoman Empire, Skanderbeg publicly converted back to Christianity, embracing his faith and heritage. This conversion further solidified his position as a leader of the Christian resistance, inspiring his followers through his actions and faith. The League's first military challenge came in the spring of 1444, when Skanderbeg's scouts reported that the Ottoman army was planning to invade Albania. Skanderbeg planned to move towards the anticipated entry point and prepared for an engagement. He organized an army of 10,000 to 15,000 men assembled from the League of Lezhë and advanced towards the planned battle site in Lower Dibra, believed to be the plain of Shumbat, formerly the plain of Torvioll. Realizing the threat posed by Skanderbeg's new state, Sultan Murad II sent one of his most experienced generals, Ali Pasha, to crush the Albanian League with a force of 25,000 to 40,000 men. The night before the Battle of Torvioll, Skanderbeg and his commanders held a crucial war council to finalize their strategy. The Albanian troops remained quiet and extinguished all their campfires, preparing for the surprise attack that would follow the next day. They were farmers, shepherds, and warriors, bound by a common cause, to defend their homeland from the invading Ottoman forces. Meanwhile, the Ottoman soldiers, confident of a sure victory, were celebrating and making approaches to the Albanian camp, provoking the Albanians. Unaware of Skanderbeg's plans, the Ottomans were unprepared for the tactics that would be employed against them. Skanderbeg employed a clever tactic to deceive the Ottoman forces. By luring the Ottomans into the valley, Skanderbeg aimed to neutralize their numerical superiority and use guerrilla tactics to his advantage. The narrow valley restricted the movement of the Ottoman forces, making it difficult for them to maneuver and deploy their troops effectively. This allowed Skanderbeg's smaller, more agile army to launch surprise attacks and disrupt the Ottoman formations. Skanderbeg positioned his forces at the bottom of a hill, appearing vulnerable and inviting the Ottomans to attack. His army split into 3 groups, with one group positioned at the front to engage the Ottomans directly, while the other 2 groups were hidden in the surrounding forests and mountains. Skanderbeg's army, composed of 8,000 cavalry and 7,000 infantry, was strategically positioned to take advantage of the terrain. Ali Pasha's forces initiated an attack on Skanderbeg's army and feigned a retreat to lure them. However, Skanderbeg, familiar with Ottoman tactics, prevented his troops from chasing. Confident in their numerical superiority and noticing the lack of cavalry support, Ali Pasha's Ottoman army ordered a full attack and advanced downhill to engage the Albanian forces. Once the Ottoman forces were fully engaged and descending the hill, Skanderbeg signaled the hidden Albanian troops on the right to launch an attack from the rear and flanks. Although Ali Pasha initially managed to stabilize the situation by repositioning his troops, Skanderbeg then ordered the left flank to attack, which caused chaos and confusion among the Ottoman ranks. As the Albanian forces began surrounding them, Ali Pasha managed to escape, but the rest of the Ottoman army was utterly destroyed. The result was the death of around 20,000 dead and wounded and about 2,000 captured. The Albanians suffered 120 casualties and 4,000 wounded. This victory significantly boosted the morale of the Albanian forces and consolidated Skanderbeg's leadership in the League of Lezhë. Skanderbeg's unexpected triumph resonated across Europe, boosting the morale of Christian states and inspiring them to resist Ottoman expansion. This victory also encouraged Pope Eugenius IV and John Hunyadi to organize a new crusade against the Ottomans later in 1444. The victory at Torvioll not only highlighted Skanderbeg's military brilliance and the effectiveness of his guerrilla tactics, but also marked the first time a smaller Christian army defeated the Ottomans in a pitched battle on European soil. This triumph shattered the myth of Ottoman invincibility and marked the beginning of nearly 40 years of war between the League of Lezhë and the Ottoman Empire. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of legendary leaders.